Last time on the Pokémon Scarlet Teralocke.
Imagine if KFC and Pokemon did a crossover and they had KFC themed Pokemon chicken buckets. Maybe the devs just didn't like paella. I can tolerate both of them, but that doesn't necessarily mean I like both of them.
And now we begin a new episode.
My favourite Pokemon will always be the first two gens. Great choices. The thing is, say what you want about Gen 1. Gen 1 has not aged well, but that's a good thing. Gen 1 has not aged well because the games have improved so much over the years, which is a good thing. Gen 1 feels retro, and should feel retro because of it. Just like Gen 2 feels retro, but Gen 2 feels like a milestone over Gen 1. And Gen 3 feels like a milestone over Gen 2. That's what was so great about the gens. Every generation was one milestone over the other. And I'm willing to say it genuinely felt like that all the way up to Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. Sword and Shield comes out and it feels, Scarlet and Violet comes out and it feels, Don't even get me started on the Gen 4 remake. The Gen 4 remake makes me want to bloody vomit and have diarrhea at the same time in the same soup. No thank you. Ugh. Like, no. Just a big squishy no. What was up with that?
Coloshade says I've beaten Scarlet, I've beaten Violet, I tried to start a new game on Scarlet and I just bring myself to play it. When Sword and Shield came out, I beat Shield, then Sword, complete national decks, and then replay both games 3 more times each with different teams just for the challenge.
Nice.
For me, Sword and Shield had a set path and seems small in comparison to Scarvio. Scarvio just seems like a daunting task than an actual enjoyable experience like Swish did. I think the open world.
Bear with me. Yeah, I think the open world is a detriment. Yeah. I think this is the thing. Everyone for years were begging for Pokemon to become an open world because it screamed it, right? Nothing sounds better than running around an open world with roaming Pokemon everywhere, feeling as if you're in a natural Pokemon world, right? Nothing beats that feeling. But guess what? That feeling would feel better in VR. Let's face it. That feeling would feel a million times better if it was in VR. In an actual single-player experience with multiplayer elements slapped on? No. So that's the thing that makes Sword and Shield stand out in comparison. Sword and Shield having isolated zones like it has done in every single Pokemon game up until Legends Arceus. Because in fairness, it was Legends Arceus. But even then, that's non-mainline. So if we say all the mainline titles up until Scarlet and Violet, because it had that system in place, like I said earlier, you could flesh out every single zone a lot more, give it a lot more character. The tamers felt a lot more intimidating because they were actual threats, stopping you before your next major challenge in the run, you know? And you can't tell me you can't have isolated zones here and still make it work. You definitely can. I think it's just the idea of making it an open world that's constantly running and not zoned off is made to its detriment. While it worked in Legends Arceus, because in Legends Arceus, yes, they were big zones, but that's what they were, zones. It wasn't a giant open world where everything was connected, it was still zoned. You still had a loading screen between zones, and it still worked. Exactly. Legends Arceus was the great middle ground, and that's what we needed. The middle ground worked, and instead of staying on the middle ground, they abandoned it and went full on, and they wonder why it doesn't hit as much. Kinda trash, gotta be honest. I found Geeta boring and forgettable, so much I had to look her name up just now. I know! Geeta! One of the most forgettable Elite Four leaders of all time! Where is Lance? Lance was perfect. Lance was the perfect definition of I'm a dragon tamer, I own 3 Dragonites, get on my level. If you can't beat me, you can't be champion. That's why they brought him back for Gen 2 as well, people. Lance was perfect. perfect as the endgame Elite Four member. Cynthia, great champion fight at the end of the Elite Four. Steven, great fight at the end of the Elite Four. Red, great fight for endgame. Great fight for the end of part 2 of Gen 2, because Gen 2 was so big. And then Geeta, she's there. And that's all she is. I like the idea of full-on open world Pokemon. Yeah. But here's the thing. The idea, perfect. Nothing wrong with the idea. And I'm not trying to slam that the idea of an open world Pokemon game wouldn't work. It does. And it can. Absolutely. But the problem is, its construction. The actual development of the open world in this, their first attempt, was just way off mark. It was way off mark. And in fairness, just compare it against its own competition. Compare it against... What's the name of that creature capture game that's coming out this year? I think it's this year. Where it's like Pokemon with guns, but also elements of survival, where you're building your own bases, and then the little creatures that you fight, that you capture, you can raise and breed and give guns to, and get them to make guns in an assembly line, which is kind of mental, and I love it. Like, compare it against that, which is a competition to it. That looks way more interesting because it has such a crazy idea for an open world, but it works. And the open world there looks way more interesting. Hell, DokeV! We know nothing else about DokeV after its last trailer, which was just kids dancing. And even then, DokeV looks more interesting and exciting in comparison to Scarlet and Violet. And it's just Korean kids dancing. K-pop, the video game, so far. PokeMMO is king. Nintendo should take notice and release official version of that with modern graphics, release it on PC. That'd be the dream. They won't do it. Anything that will touch a PC for Nintendo would immediately make Nintendo think, well, we're gonna make money, but we're gonna hate every second of it, because then every person known to mankind is gonna pirate the shit out of a Pokemon game. And in fairness, mods would be great. Like, the good mods would be great, and Nintendo will hate it when people mod a Pokemon game. It's just gonna be like, it's Nintendo's worst nightmare, because it's like, yeah, I don't want you touching my things. That's it. Like, in comparison to, let's say, Bungie, who released Halo, people started modding Halo, and Bungie went, we could work with this. And what do? They made Forge, so that everyone can make their own shit. Perfect. Nintendo won't. And it kind of sucks. They're so stuck in their ways. I love them. Absolutely love Nintendo. I absolutely love Nintendo and back. But they're stuck in their ways and their old gits. They are really old gits. They are stuck in their ways and will not budge for anyone or anything else. Doesn't mean I don't love them. It's like that one granddad you meet up with because he tells amazing stories, but then you have to try and get him out of a chair and it's impossible. I think that's the best comparison of Nintendo I've ever thought of. The story, the granddad with all the amazing content that can't get out of the chair. That is it. Welcome to my TED Talk. A child! Remember, kids, children are the future, so let's end them now. It's very important. Maybe it's because all the gyms just look so bland. Yeah, it's the thing is, people will just jump at the fact it's an art style choice. If this is an art style choice, I'm sorry, the art style was bad. Art style choice was bad. It worked in Legends Arceus because it worked with the whole washed out, old school Japanese art design of feudal era Japan. It worked for that. Ooh, Masquerade, I might as well stay in. But in this, where it's not based on that at all, no, it looks terrible. It looks terrible because the region has changed, the theme has changed, the environment has changed, but the graphics haven't. That's gonna... Oh my god, Mummy Night. Oh, Jesus. We're switching. We're getting the hell out of here. Hello? Electrum? Bring the pain, a beloved Birdo. Bloody kids again! Bloody kids! Nintendo needs to do an F-Zero and a Zombie U2. Yes! Yes! We also need to do a remaster, remake, or re-release of Skies of Arcadia. If people complain, they're gonna complain. But you know what? They're still gonna play it.
Wheel of Fortune.
It's Wheel of Fortune, baby! Let's go! Let's go! It's Wheel of Fortune time. We have way more important things to worry about. Such as the Wheel of Fortune. Please be fortune and not misfortune. Please. Ooh! Oh, let's take a drink. I can take a drink. That's fine. Take a drink. Kofu. Veluza! Where in the world? Well, no, you're more Italian, aren't you, than... No, I think he is more Italian. I think Kofu is Italian-based just in Spain. Because it's all based around fish. And there's a lot of Italian-based fishing. Not... At least from what I remember, not so much. I could be wrong. Spain could be the fishing capital of the world, and I'm completely blind to it. If you know who fishes more between Spain and Italy, let me know. I have no idea. I'd generally like to know, actually. Okay, gym trainer. It's Hugo with Flutzel. Okay, so maybe I should have started off with skipping tonight, but hey-ho. Can we do a lot to you? Not really. Is it going to be valuable to just go into sap? Yes. We're sapping it. Would you mind if I made a wheel? Not for Pokemon, I'm thinking of doing one of my traditional archery. Rail, go for it. The thing is, the Wheel of Fortune is not my idea. I just changed up the idea to make it go with the challenge run. Go for it, dude. You don't have to ask for my permission in any way, shape, or form. If anything, I think adding in a Wheel of Forward... can't even say. A Wheel of Forward. No. I meant, if anything, making a Wheel of Fortune redeem, there you go, I finally said it, in every stream, whether you're doing a challenge run or a run of a game long term, just spices things up. You don't even need to do things that are linked to a specific game. You can just do things that make you do things whilst the game is going, like doing star jumps, taking a drink. You can even, if you're bigger, you're a little bit more well off financially, you can do gift subs. You can do all sorts of wacky things. You can even have someone on as a guest star for like 5 minutes and have them take over the stream for 5 minutes as guest star. You know, you can do quirky things. And I like the idea of doing quirky things. So do it. Genuinely, go out there and do it. Oh no, Rail, I would never in a million years think that you're copying me. And even out there, if you're watching this and you're a fellow streamer, you're inspired by anything that I do, anything that looks and plays in such a way, do not feel as if you're copying from me. Use it as inspiration, make it your own, and I'd be chuffed to know that you were inspired. Genuinely. Go and do it. Just go and do it. Simple as. So don't worry, buddy. If anything, I'll look forward to it. Be interested to see what you would do with it. Be really cool. I'm fairly certain that Spain is a big fishing country. I'm not sure about Spain versus Italy in terms of fishing industries. Yeah, we need stats, damn it. I need fish stats. Don't you mean the Wheel of Faynag? Oh, that could work. Faynag's Wheel of Fortune. Oh, there you go. Call it Faynag's Wheel of Fortune. Done. I'm not used to other creators doing flyers. Every creator I've done a collab or interview with, I did the flyer because they don't do it. They do video, but they don't go that extra step. That's good. That's good to do with the logos and stuff. Oh, absolutely. Like, when it comes to the podcast, I'm taking it as seriously as humanly possible. Everything from overlays to individual elements to things that I'm going to put out for promotional material. I want to incorporate whomever the guest is into it, so that obviously the guest knows that they're being represented properly, but at the same time it grabs people's attention going, oh really? It's that guy? I know that guy from TikTok. I know that guy from Twitch. I know that guy from YouTube because of his logos and the decals and the fonts and everything, right? It just grabs their attention. It's better than just using your own font with their name on it, you know? It's like, it's Steve. Yay. Maybe Kofu is Spanish. I don't know. I don't know. Can anyone clarify for me whether Kofu is more Spanish or Italian? Or where his inspiration comes from? I want to say Kofu is Italian. I want to say he's not French. I know he has a little bit of cooking in him, but he's not French. Or else he would come from the region from X and Y, which would make sense, because this is pretty much accompanying it. I have a strange feeling he's way more Italian than French or Spanish. He's just giving me that vibe. 15k, please. 20k. 30k. It's fine. 40k. Warhammer, baby. Hey, big spender. Spend a little time with me. Love it. Oh, I love a bit of that. Well, Kofu, I got your stuff. Let's have a battle back in the gym, shall we? Awesome. I lean into Italian as well, but for some reason I imagine him being more Greek. Oh god, now you bring the Greeks into it. You're not wrong, Tash. That's the thing, you're not wrong. It could actually be true. He could be Greek this whole time. Kofu, who are you? Are you Greek? Are you Italian? Are you Spanish? Are you French? Are you even human at this point? Let's face it. What the hell are you? Oh no. Kofu is ambiguous. There you go. He's everything. He's everything and more. Kofu. Grab a taste.
Where are you, Billy?
Oh god.